shit, I forgot to change the title. God damn it.
I'm not quite live yet, so it's okay. It's
Okay.
still just doing the whole. Okay, now. So now we're live on both channels and still not ready to go. How about that?
Typical, right? That's typical musical shit. All right.
This, from doing like live, like actual performances at venues in front of like people,
Yeah.
I always would feel bad when this happens, and I'm glad I've been on some other streams when they start and see that like we all do this.
Yeah. We all do. Yeah, we all do this. Like, even at live shows, like, I have to say that every live performance that I've ever done, save for like maybe a couple like bigger productions, like, or moderately sized productions in like hotels, they're all late. Like, for real. And it's not even my fault, man. I get there on time for sound check. No sound check actually happens, and we just, you know, we start like an hour late. It's cool as long as you pay me. There better be drinks to go with it.
Where that they were supposed to open the house and we were still sound checking, and
Yeah.
they've had people waiting out in the lobby past the time when the show was supposed to actually start.
Ooh.
Yeah, but at that point I just wash my hands of it. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. As long as it's not my fault, it's fine.
So shall we start? I'll play some
Sure.
some chordal washes, and you just do whatever you want over.
All right.
One quick thing. How about that? We'll get to that, Em. I just don't want to interrupt Bomb.
Okay.
I think it's good now. Okay, thanks.
Awesome. Oh, that was nice.
I love it when that happens too, where we both heard that was the end.
Yeah,
It wasn't any of that question of are we finished yet? Or
right. It was like we just feel that's what it was.
that this is the first time Habana and I have improvised together intentionally.
Right.
There's one thing that I'm contractually obligated to do right now. You can join if you want.
Sure. Ray!
Mango Mindset raided while we were in the middle of that, but I didn't. You were doing some great stuff, and I did not want to disturb you with the raid song at that point.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it would have been. That was a real rude of Mango to try to interrupt us.
Yeah, Mango's like that. But anybody who's not familiar with Mango Mindset Live should follow them anyhow.
Yeah, everyone should be following Mango. Whoa,
So-
let's see what I've got over here. 'Cause people have been going nuts in the chat on my end. And I've been ignoring you people. I'm so sorry. Acromonster, thank you for the 100 bits. And for everyone who's like gifting subs and bits, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Is that a hype train? What the fuck?
You got a hype train already?
I know, I'm confused. Oh no, wait, a hype train is close, it says. So you guys better get to work.
What is it, 15 miles out? Like,
Okay, I think it just started. Hype train incoming. Woo! Rockets on the balloon.
It's kind of playing incidentally. It requires a bit of focus.
Yeah.
So if we're not always responding to comments or thanking you for things, we apologize.
Yeah. We apologize in advance and thank you in advance as well.
Yes, exactly what Habana said. So that was guitar and KOTO. I'm going to play, on that one, I was kind of making some backdrops.
Yeah.
But now we're going to switch roles, and I'm going to play bass, and you can do more looping-ish kind of things.
Right. Let me make sure everything is good on this end.
We have to do a couple of cable.
Yeah. I'll just test things out over here to make sure it's working.
And actually, while I'm doing that, I don't know if you've told this story, but I haven't heard it. I'm a little curious as to how a Puerto Rican lady gets interested in playing a Japanese instrument such as the KOTO. How did that come about?
Well, funny story. I used to be a massive weeb, so I was really into the anime stuff when I was like a teenager. Even before then, I was like into Sailor Moon, all that stuff. And so I got really into like Japanese rock, particularly stuff that was attached to like Visual K. So Malice Miser, Wagaki Band, Moi de Moi, and Cafe, all that stuff. And I kind of was like really into the fact that they put their, they basically infused their native culture into the music, and that was like so fantastic to me. And it's not just the rock portion of it. They did this with like everything. There was just like a specific sound that was like really cool that I really enjoyed. And at one point, I became like a Vocaloid producer, which is another whole rabbit hole in and of itself. And so I ended up kind of like copying that sort of sound, but at one point I was like, well, I don't want to be that person who's just like copying what I hear without understanding what's going on. So I talked to my grandmother, and my grandmother has a friend who She does a whole bunch of stuff, but one of her big things is that she's a KOTO player, and she has like, all the KOTO certification and everything, and she's like self-taught, which is like super amazing. So I was like, hey grandma, can I get a class with with this person? Yuri is her name. Can I get a class with Yuri? And she's like, sure. And so, I took a class, and it was all uphill from there.
So that's intriguing.
Yeah.
It looks like we have a hype train on both channels now.
Nice.
I must have missed some people who donated because I only saw one person, and I know one person does not make a hype train. So again, I apologize to everybody I haven't thanked.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for your generosity. Thank you all for being here. And thanks to Mango for the raid.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm especially surprised Mango raided us because Mango actually hates me.
I think he did it to be rude. Remember, he was trying to interrupt. He was trying to interrupt our flow.
He was probably waiting, like he had the channel open and was waiting for when you were at the most gentle part of your, improvisation, and then said, "That's when I'm going to make them do the raids."
Oh my lord. Crystal says your visual style is off the chart. Thank you, Crystal. I try my best. I needed to put on the kimono outfit because we're doing GUZHENG versus Japan, GUZHENG versus KOTO, Japan versus China. We're going. The samurais are here to defend the shogunate.
That'll be the next jam. We didn't want to hit you with that right away.
Now I need to with my donos, I need to crowdfund for a katana and just swing it around. You guys are nuts.
So give me something to play over, please.
All right, cool.
Wait a minute, sorry. One more, I almost forgot one cable chain.
Important shit.
One moment.
Sure.
Okay, before you wouldn't have been able to hear the bass. Now it should be coming through.
All right, play a couple notes to make sure that it's all good. I don't hear shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Because when I plugged it in, I unplugged something else in it. Too many cables here. I need a mod that'll come over here and deal with my equipment.
Now I can hear it. Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, what's her name? But I think we've got that sorted.
Okay.
You've all been on Twitch before. You know that in any stream there will always be technical problems. There will always be audio, software issues,
Yep.
wardrobe malfunctions. So now the second jam will start now. video for both of us or just the bass? What's her name?
Nice.
Thanks, Colin. You hit that applause at the exact right time.
Right? Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Colin. You hit that applause at the exact right time.
Right? Thank you Oh my god, now I'm hearing like an echo. Oh dear lord.
I am too. I was wondering about that. Where's that delay coming from?
No, okay. Hold on a second. Let me see. Do-do-do. This maybe. Try saying something.
Something. Okay, I don't hear the echo anymore.
Awesome. I think I fixed it then.
There's so many great streamers here. Do You Can, Ranusan, New Future Fantasy, Mango Mindset, who rated of us, of course. Black Math is here, I just noticed. Ah. Soka,
Yeah,
Zuko
Sokka's on
Water Tribe is here.
my end too. Calario.
What's her name, 62?
Cressel is here, of course, being a legend.
Any of you who, well, for one thing, if anybody here is not familiar with Habana Sound, that's part of the idea of this stream. Now you all know why you should have been following her for months now. You'll probably, anybody who's not following you probably feels like a doofus right now, right? But you can rectify that by giving her a follow right now. Like literally right now.
Same. Everyone should be following Coincidence Machine.
And before we move on, I want to point out that one of my crowning achievements on Twitch, I feel, actually happened on Habana's stream. You were playing, like, we're always joking about the instruments we play, and, you know, like KOTO, I just met her, you know, that kind of stupid stuff. And you did this KOTO loop, and you were jamming some flute on top of it. And so I typed, what kind of KOTO is that? And Bootsy Bug said, that's the oscillating zither. To which I immediately replied, funny, that's what I call your mom. And the next thing I notice, Habana stops playing flute because she's laughing. I didn't even realize you were watching the chat. And when that happened, when I got the streamer to laugh to where she couldn't perform, I think I actually stood up and put my fists in the air. Like that was...
The thing is that it wasn't even like that. The way you phrased it, it was even funnier. I think you said something, it was more like, that sounds like what I call your mom. It was so ridiculous, but so dry.
Proudest moment for me on Twitch, though.
It's great. Is fun times.
Yes, good times indeed. Now, hang on. Now we're going to have the moment you've been waiting for, GUZHENG versus KOTO. Hang on. Mine isn't coming out, though, is it? So what am I doing? Oh, I know exactly why.
Cedric is over here really excited.
There we go. Can you all hear the GUZHENG? Do we need more of that? Because sometimes this pickup isn't very loud. I can make it louder.
Yeah, I think for me, I need it a little bit louder. Cool. Okay, Cedric says it sounds good. Cool.
You're going to have to retune, I just realized, because I have this tuned to G.
Right. Uh, Give me a G note.
Yes, it is Ramasan.
Wait, what do you say? The
He
tuning
said it's the
song.
most
True.
popular. Yeah. But Habana's fast at it. Like, I send mine out. I give mine to a service where you drop it off and pick it up the next day and it's in tune. Unless it was really out of tune and then they take 2 or 3 days to get it back to you.
That's wild. Having to
I'm
have
kidding
someone
around.
else tune it.
That's why everybody wants to be a famous rock star. It's not for the money or the chicks. It's because then it's somebody's job to keep your equipment working.
True. Oh my goodness. So many times I have just wished that someone could just do the shit work for me.
Yeah, I wish the same for me. I thought that's what mods did at first. I thought the mod was going to come over to my apartment, set my gear up, tune the instruments. Turns out mods don't do that at all.
Yeah. You don't pay them enough.
I don't pay them at all, actually.
Exactly.
Oh, thanks for the follows. I think I got like 3 or follows so far.
Nice.
And I'm sorry for not thanking you all personally. Ranu-san says mine does. Well, you've got a different kind of mod, Ranu-san. Earth Moon, thank you for being here. Somebody else, by the way, in that last jam caught that I referenced the suspended second chord from John Coltrane's Love Supreme.
You know, that makes so much sense. Oh my god.
Oh, Veronica says if we buy her a plane ticket, she'll do that kind of modding for us.
Nice.
Everybody make sure you follow Veronica Veronica Astor, 'cause if not, you're a jerk. Ah, hang on. I got some cable issues. Okay, you're in tune?
Yeah.
I guess either of us or both of us can play with looping.
Yeah.
So why don't we just start out just playing, and if one of us or both of us start hearing some looping stuff, then that'll happen. And if not, it won't happen.
Yeah. You're going down, old man.
You all should have seen Habana's stream yesterday if you didn't, where I said something similar in the chat, and she started doing the fake boxing thing. Hey, William, you're on Twitch now. Thanks for following.
Nice.
I almost thought you were going to keep going there. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
That was a trip.
Yeah, that's it's the thing that I've always loved about free improvisation is that it very often ends up going places where we, the performers, didn't even know it was going to end up there.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I just like, whew. I'm like experiencing the experience, you know? That was like really, really cool. Like, even at the end, I was like, it felt like it ended, but it also could have gone so many other places. But then at the same time, it's like, I didn't expect to pull out the flute today, but it just happened.
I'm glad you did. That was the perfect place for it to go.
Yeah.
We started out with the idea that we were going to do KOTO and GUZHENG, and then we ended up playing guitar and flute in the end.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely very grateful that you didn't pull out an accordion.
The Connexus are gonna be really mad at you. Don't try.
And Ruckus Hullabaloo, too.
Ooh. Ruckus, you hear
You know,
that? Are you gonna put up with
William
this shit?
Crewman is here. William, I know in non-Twitch life, and it's nice to see that you've got a Twitch account. You're up here, William. You should follow Habana because, as you hear, she's fantastic.
Thank you.
You should also follow some of these other wonderful streamers: Ranu-san, Ruckus Hullabaloo, Do You Can, Veronica Astra, New Future Fantasy, Mango Mindset Live. I know I'm missing people. What's her name? 62. So many names have gone by in the chat of so many great streamers. I know that I'm not getting to them all.
Yeah, same
What I
here.
tell people to do is just go up and down the chat and click on everybody's name and follow them. Because worst that happens is they're not a streamer and you're never going to find out when they go live because they don't stream anyway. So it's not like, yeah, you don't lose anything by following these people.
That's true. Let's see. Let me see who's in chat right now. We got John Taylor for sale. Hello.
Oh, definitely follow that cat.
Yeah. And Fenrir Matt is over here defending the Connexus.
Oh.
Don't try. All accordions. Hell yeah. Crystal, thank you for the kind words. You're such a sweetheart. Hell yeah. And now we need our mods to like put up like a poll to see who won.
I think I'm modless today.
You're modless? Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, I streamed modless for like over a year, so.
That's true.
So those were the things we had planned. Should we do another one, and how should we do it? Does anybody have any suggestions on a way they'd like to hear us interact? Or we can't do anything rhythmic because of latency.
Right.
Like we can't lay down a fat beat or anything. One day, I hope Elon Musk takes care of that, or maybe somebody smarter than him.
I would bet money on someone smarter than him. It ain't hard to do. Uh-oh, Ron-san is up here throwing hands. What's wrong with the accordion? Gotta go to...
Ranu-san plays a bunch of instruments. I mean, that guy, if you go on his stream, you know, you're going to hear oud and Turkish clarinet, frame drums, a bowed tambour, which I really want now that I've heard him play one.
That's so sick. Like, I've only been, you know, in the awake plane of reality once while he was streaming. And while he was streaming, I was also busy. And I was like so mad. I was like, shit, I can't see. Hear that, Rana-san? You need to step up your game and play for your European fans.
That is an issue with this Twitch thing, is that if you always stream at the time that's good for you, you miss half the world.
Yeah. Yeah, in my case, I mean, I tried to pick a time where it's kind of like, I guess, the intersection between Europe and the States. Turns out most of the chatters are from the States anyway, so whatever.
Oh, that's funny, because I find that I get a lot of Europeans on my streams.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of Europeans, but yeah, definitely. When I look at my demographics, there's like a big chunk that says the United States, and then I think the next one is like, I don't know, something. It was something like either Germany, or I can't remember which one was like, you know, higher up. There was like Germany, and there was another one that was like, I think it's like a southeastern country. I can't remember because I suck at names. But I was like, what the fuck is that doing there?
I'm wondering, how do you find your demographics? I didn't know that was a thing that you could do.
Yeah, on the creator dashboard, I think in the channel insights, it's somewhere around
I'm gonna have to look for that.
Yeah.
I bet I'm big on Ganymede.
I wouldn't be surprised.
William, you're gonna love Twitch because there's people like Habana Sound on it.
Hell yeah.
I stream on Facebook simultaneously to doing Twitch, but most streamers don't do that. So if you want to hear this amazing talent, you got to be on Twitch.
That's right.
So let's do another jam, but how should we do this one? What do you guys think? Is there anything particular you want to hear as far as vibe, instrumentation, attitude? There's the Twitch lag, too, where when I say something, I know it takes like 10 or 15 seconds before people hear it. And most of my audience suck at typing, so then there's the half-a-minute lag while they try to navigate actually typing stuff in.
Yeah, that's me. Guilty as charged. Like, I always enter these streams after a raid, and they start like talking and asking me a bunch of questions, and I'm like, God damn it, slow down. Let me answer your first one. And then I realize a whole ass minute has gone by, and they're like onto another subject, and it's like, shit.
That's the worst thing, when the streamer says something and you have the perfect response, but by the time you type it with the Twitch lag,
yeah,
they don't understand what you're talking about because it was 5 sentences ago.
Yeah, I have found that the best way to mediate that, it's not even all that great. The best way to deal with that is to like word it in a way where they can like connect, you know, what you're responding to.
Ah, see that? Habana Sound, more intelligent than Elon Musk.
I try my best. Again, low bar. I mean, such a low bar that Elon Musk has he hires other people to be smart for him.
Yeah. That's what wealthy people tend to do.
Yeah.
Us poorer folk have to learn to be smart all on our own.
Yeah. We gotta, us poors need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps or some shit, you know.
If you can afford bootstraps.
Bootstraps? What? My sandals are made out of dirt. Excuse me.
So nobody's made any suggestions, so I guess why don't we just play something?
Sure.
Your tune's still to G, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to change keys maybe so we've got a
Sure.
different sound? You pick the key and start playing, and I'll figure out what key you're in.
All right.
Secret Nostril said one bootstrap for all of us to share on rotation.
True. Oh my goodness. Now that's what I call socialism. But we did a Chinese tuning last time, so let's go to our roots.
Yeah, I was going to ask that about how you tune that. I notice it seems like it tends to be 5, 1, 2 minor third. Is that a common KOTO tuning?
Yeah, there's the one that I'm doing now, which is, let me tune it. It's called Hirachoshi, and Hirachoshi is basically the...
Hirachoshi, I just met her. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted. Keep going with your tuning dissertation.
I'm sorry, that was funny. So Hirachoshi is usually this sequence here, which is the sequence used for Sakura Sakura. And it's,
Oh, I know that tune.
yeah, it's kind of the standard tuning for Japanese music in general, and then any change in that tuning is usually based on a change in string 4 and string 6. So if I wanted to change it, it would be instead of, it would be, so every time I tune, I usually just go for those two because it's just easier to move around between major and minor keys using that. And also, I usually tune, instead of Hirachoshi, I do Hirachoshi with 4 and 9 raised to the tuning I just played, mostly because it's a suspended kind of sound, so it makes it easier to just play ambiguous music. I'm giving y'all my secrets. This is how I cheat the system.
Ah.
Hold on a sec. Now I need to get back into tuning mode because I'm getting distracted. God damn it. Here we go.
guess I can't read your name, Aka something, but they said that ambiguous music is the genre they love to listen to.
Ambiguous music is the best music.
You know, when we were setting up yesterday, I had your stream on,
Yeah?
and Eli was listening to you, and he said, "Oh, so what do you call this kind of music?" And I thought, why the fuck? First of all, like, to me, why do you care what you call it? I mean, it's Habana sound. Let's leave it at that. And then there's like the whole like I think that maybe there was a time when we didn't have the internet and people tended to stay in neighborhoods where you had more genres that were more strict because if you grew up in Chicago and everything you heard was Chicago blues, then you would probably play Chicago blues because it was the thing you were familiar with.
Yeah.
But nowadays, we all listen to so many things from, different cultures, different time periods.
Yeah.
I think that there's more and more things that are happening with people like you who kind of are their own genre.
Yeah, for the longest time it was just so I would ask people like dead ass like what kind of music do you think this is? And most people are like and I'm also like I don't know what I'm doing. And I mean like I always felt like the concept of genre was just so oppressive. I know I'm gonna get like musically political
Oh,
over
here we
here.
go.
Musically political Hibana. But this is actually like the original idea that I had for a master's thesis because I did care like a lot about like the whole genre thing because when you're going out to look for places to market your music, trying to market yourself or hiring someone else to market you, they usually ask you what genre you are and they have like these preset lists of what it is instead of like relating you to maybe another artist that you're heavily inspired by or maybe even like the sound is sort of the same or maybe the dynamic is sort of the same but not necessarily the same sound if that makes sense. And I just felt like I at the time when I was like researching this, I was like, okay, I really like writing synthwave songs, but is it really synthwave? Because it doesn't sound like synthwave. But then it's like, oh, is it synth pop? No, it's not that. Is it new age? No, it's not that. Is it jazz? Because on my album I have a cut that is, I mean the instrumentation is a jazz combo, and it's kind of like a jazz hip hop sort of thing. But then at the end of the album, it's like a punk rock cut, and but it's for me, it still makes sense to put them in the same album. It makes sense to hear them together. So it's like I don't think music needs to necessarily sound like it fits into a box. I think these boxes actually force us to make our sound the same. It's like when you're listening to a certain band and at some point all their music starts to sound the same.
Yeah. And sometimes I've heard that's like producers and managers who don't let them get out of that box because they feel your audience expects you to always sound the same.
Exactly.
And, certain artists like, Rush, David Bowie, even Bob Dylan, where I think that was the thing that was brave about them. And that then became a part of how their audience appreciated them is, oh, what are they going to do next? They wanted to hear them do the next thing. And you also bring up the point of even crossing genres, which becomes like genres. I feel they're just a marketing thing, and the reason that they don't work for people like us is because I don't want to just play blues my whole life. I have other things I want to do.
Right.
So once you label yourself as a new age artist or a blues artist, then when you put a punk rock song on the end of your record, everybody's like, that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And not
gets
everybody in
mad.
terms of your fans, everybody in terms of like, agents and record people and such. And I think audiences are hipper than that. I think Twitch has shown me that, where you'll get somebody like a New Future Fantasy who, what he does is kind of uncategorizable, but he's just playing guitar and singing, but then he'll show up on a stream like this and dig it, where we've got, KOTO and guitar loops going on, which is so outside of what he sounds like. but there's an appreciation there. I think that audiences are far more sophisticated than marketing folk have ever given them credit for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that coming onto Twitch, I already had like, I guess, my biases coming into Twitch, or rather suspicions, but Twitch kind of just confirmed it because the biggest Twitch streamers in the music category aren't like these pop artists. They aren't these big artists. Like, unlike on YouTube, where the people who get millions of views are the ones who pay for it. And so, like, they pay to get their shit pushed, but on Twitch, you can't really do that. Like, if you try
Oh
to...
no, there's big follows. I found out from the hotspot there's big follows. I'm kidding around. Everybody knows the hotspots are bullshit.
Yeah, the hotspots are bullshit, and yeah, Twitch actually will pick them out. Like, they'll clean out your follow list. If there's like a bunch of bots, they'll like delete it.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, even if you have like a big amount of followers for a while, there still will be, like, after a while, Twitch will kind of weed out and deactivate those accounts, which is great. Like,
Yeah.
and the way that things get promoted aren't even by the followers; it's by the live viewership. So if you have like a stream and a bunch of people raid you, and maybe have like 50 people, right? And you're someone who has maybe 100 or 200 followers, and then there's like another streamer who is, I don't know, maybe has 1,000 or 2,000 and has 20 people watching at the same time. You're more likely to find the person with 50 than the one with 20.
Huh.
And that's kind of like I guess a condensation of all the things that go into the algorithm, but that's kind of the baseline. So Twitch, from what I understand, is that they track engagement before they track any other sort of analytics. The follows for you would basically mostly help only with getting the word out that you're streaming at that moment, so you can get more people onto the platform to consume the content.
And Habana knows what she's talking about because she not only has a lot of followers, but whenever you go on her stream, there's always like at least a dozen people there. I think.
Well, that's just recent stuff. I until maybe August, I was struggling to break 10.
It took me 9 months to make affiliate because I couldn't get past the 3 average streamers.
What?
Yeah. This is the issue of what you're talking about, is that it makes it can be hard to get discovered. And I'm very grateful to all of you people who are here on my channel.
Yeah.
For the fact that you're here listening, and for any of the times you come and listen. And I want to give a special shout to Ruckus Hullabaloo, because that's actually what changed it for me. Is Ruckus discovered me and then introduced me to all these other wonderful streamers, a lot of whom are here right now. Do you can?
Yeah.
Do you can? By the way,
I think
if you're not following, do you can?
Yeah.
Do it.
I think it was
Sorry,
Ruckus who suggested me to your channel, like. Yeah, I think I was playing, and then Ruckus came in. I think it was Ruckus. I might be like totally bullshitting, but yeah, I was just playing, and Ruckus was like, "Have you seen Coincidence Machine? I think they play a KOTO," and I'm like,
The first time I was ever on your stream, I remember you said that. You said, "Yeah, everybody says Coincidence Machine plays the same instrument as me, but we don't. It's a different instrument."
And that was so funny when I saw it, because I had it understood that I was the only KOTO player on the entire platform. I've seen a whole bunch of people play GUZHENG on the platform, but never a KOTO player. So I was like, who is eating my lunch? But then I went onto your stream, and I'm like, cool, it's a cool stream, but that's not a KOTO.
I don't even really play it like a GUZHENG anyway, so.
Yeah. Then again, I don't play my KOTO like a KOTO, at least most of the time. I mean, I have the training, but
You
I
play
don't.
it more like a euphonium.
Yeah, like whatever floats my boat at that moment. Like I didn't want to think of it like I don't know. I just didn't want to do the whole like I don't know what's it called like when something sounds like a gift shop. It's
Yeah.
like it's not like or when you're going to visit a country and instead of going to see like the actual parts of the country you just stick to the tourist areas and you're just
Yeah.
seeing what they want you to see, what they want to export to you, and not like
Yeah.
the genuine thing.
I know what you mean, especially living in New York. Like people who live in New York don't go to the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty. You know, there's way cooler stuff to be doing in New York. But you're right, the tourists come in and think those are the things to see. Yeah.
Actually, I only went to New York, I think, I went to New York twice for auditions for my bachelor's degree way back when. And yeah, I was too young to go in there, but on my way to go visit the Empire State Building, there was a place that just really caught my eye. It was the Sex Museum. It's like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, you know what? I want to see that. It looked like a riot. I loved it. I even took a little
Way
picture.
better than the Museum of Natural History.
I mean, I would imagine so. Like usually the things that people talk about tend to be like the most boring things.
So are you in tune?
I think so.
Okay. So let's do another jam. And Rano-san asked, isn't a euphonium just a marching koto? I think he's right.
You want to run that by me again, son? Psychedelic is telling me that Mango Mindset has a KOTO button. Dear Lord. Man, that one was fun. Hell yeah.
I like how that one ended with the loops went away and we were just playing stuff together.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to like try that out. Like kind of like, oh, are those claps? Well, thank you, everybody. But yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Thanks.
I wanted to like end it kind of like how we started, which was just nothing, and then everything, and then nothing again.
That sounds like my career.
My heart, my soul.
I'm glad I could at least make Habana laugh.
I mean, again, another low bar. I can laugh at anything.
Scanark's here. I guess Scanark came on the Mango raid but hadn't been in the chat because she was driving. Thanks for doing all those shout-outs, Scanark.
Yeah, hi, Scanner. Thank you.
Thank you, William. William said brilliant. I'm assuming he was talking about our playing.
Yeah. Unless it
Please
was
correct
something
me.
else, William.
He might be talking about the chat.
Future Kelly, hello, welcome into the chat. I haven't seen you around before, and thank you for the kind words. Mad Hattigan, hi.
You have that Pokemon thing on your stream. Luneshi has that too.
Yeah, like, it seemed like a fun thing to have, especially for, you know, my demographic, youngins. And I mean,
Oh, and
yeah, it works.
Scanark said hello, Habana.
Hello,
I just
Scanner.
assumed that you were on both streams. And thank you, Timmy T-Shot, for the bits. We never talked about what we were going to do with bits and things. I really don't really care. If you wanted to tally it up and see if there's a discrepancy, or if you just wanted to say, forget it, people have been donating on both streams, doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter to me. People have been
Yeah.
going on both streams, so.
That's what I figured. It's less work then if we don't have to do math. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, I mean, it's just a, yeah. It's an experience for the both of us, and, or at least that's how I see it. And the people who want to come in and support us, the ones who want to, you know, support you, and the ones who want to support me, and there's probably a Venn diagram of those people.
Yes. I'm going to look up that Venn diagram. It's probably in the creator dashboard someplace.
Yeah.
And Ruckus said, because old farts don't like Pokemon.
Because old farts. Well, it depends on what you mean by old fart. My dad is an old fart, and he doesn't like Pokemon. But, I mean, depending on what your metric of old fart is, my partner is also an old fart, and he loves Pokemon. He's probably watching. Love you, sweetheart.
So that's 2.25 hours we've been doing this. Up to you, Habana, and the chat. Should we end it here and do a raid, or do you want to do one more or hear one more improv?
I'm up for anything, honestly. We'll put it in the hands of the chat.
That's what I figured. So tell us in the chat, do you want to raid somebody now, or do you want to hear another brilliantly genius Jimmy and Habana collaboration?
Psychedelic says he wants more.
Okay.
So, I suppose we can do that. You want to stay in the same key, or are we gonna?
Yeah, what's her name also says she wants an encore.
Okay.
William says fugs. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Bugs? Fucking hugs?
Acker said raid, but I think you may be outvoted, Acker. So far it's 2 people want more music and 1 person who wants a raid. So we're going to do more music. Hang on. What are you? No, we'll keep it the same, I guess. I was just wondering if I should grab a different instrument, but I don't think my setar's tuned to C, and I'm not sure what I would do on that anyway. We'll keep it the same.
All right. All right. So let's see. Let me reset everything over here.
Oh, and Psychedelic said angry improv time.
Angry improv.
That's actually a cool. There was a guy who went by the name of Freff who used to write for some of the magazines.
Yeah.
And he had this. He wrote this one article saying, "Here's a neat way to practice. Is rather than just, I'm going to practice my scales and arpeggios." He said, like, think about how you're making it sound. He said, pick a scale and key like, C Lydian, for instance. But then he said, can you make C Lydian sound angry? Can you make it sound melancholy? Can you make it sound silly? Can you make it sound, think of different emotions, and can you create that emotion with that chord and or scale?
Yeah, that's definitely something that my flute teacher, when I used to play flute, I guess.
I think you still play flute.
I mean, when I used to play flute more professionally, classical conservatory style. When I used to do that, that was kind of like one of the things that I would be put to work to do, is like play different emotive styles with boring shit.
So let's try that now, since Psychedelic said angry improv. Let's see if we can make this improv sound angry.
All right.
Just keep that Elon Musk visage in your mind.
Ooh. Fuck my neighbors. My neighbors be playing too loud on a Monday. Fuck you, I've got an appointment tomorrow at 7 a.m. So shut the fuck up Why don't you shut the fuck up? My neighbors are partying on a Monday during COVID. I bet you're spreading that shit to everybody. I bet you're anti-vax or something. Disgusting. Wash your hands. I say, God damn it, wash your hands. I say, God damn it. I say, God damn. Go to bed. Don't party. People dying is probably your fault. No, your quartz doesn't work. Your horse pace doesn't work either. And I fear that you're really fucking annoying on a Monday morning. Music's too loud. I said your music's too loud. I said your music's too loud. It sounds like shit.
Fuck the neighbors.
Fuck the fucking neighbors.
Fuck the goddamn neighbors.
Fuck the fucking piss and neighbors. And I hope they can hear me. Fuck you. the TARDIS sounds at the end.
The TARDIS sounds.
I was just about to go. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
Scanart.
Future Kelly, thank you for the claps. Scanner, thank you for the claps as well.
A few people redeemed the TARDIS on my channel, which
Yeah, I
finally
saw
it
that.
didn't work yesterday, but I fixed it last night.
Yeah, I saw that. That made me all sorts of not angry. But I think
Yeah,
my neighbors were enough to counteract that.
yeah, I was gonna say if you want Hibana to do an angry improv, I'll just bring up her neighbors, or make anything angry. Just bring up her neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah, you missed yesterday. I think right after you left, I think it was Psychedelic redeemed a what do you call it? It was an intense improv, and yeah, I was like, okay, what's something intense that I can just do, and I basically ranted. It was based on something that someone was like ranting to me about their real job, and they were saying because they're a female in the workplace, and so they usually get a lot of shit, a lot of condescending shit, and so I could just imagine like some male higher up like telling them they don't know what they're doing, and I was like, well, fuck you, you're not doing my fucking job, this is my fucking job. And I know how to do my fucking job, you do your fucking job.
I think I also missed the stream. Wasn't there a stream when Jehovah's Witness showed up at your door while you were streaming?
It wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, it was a charity. But I mean, it's just as bad because I live in a closed, closed building. You're supposed to either type a code and have someone let you in, or you're supposed to only be a resident to be in, the property. And so I was like so mad because, I was thinking like, oh, maybe this is like the mailman, or maybe someone's like looking for a package or something, but no, it was like this charity person looking for money, and I'm like, you're in a student housing facility. Where do you think you're going to get money?
Yeah, that person does not know how to do their job.
Yeah. Either that or they're like very exploitative, which kind of makes me think poorly of the charity organization, but oh well.
Good point, yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy being like his neighbors, which be grateful for that if you've got neighbors you enjoy.
Absolutely. If you like your neighbors, bless your heart. I've had I've had good neighbors and bad neighbors. Like, I remember there was like this one set of neighbors that I had once that, they came right after a good set of neighbors in the same house. And so when the good neighbors moved, these new neighbors came in, and they were loud. The owner was kind of like, it wasn't even the owner, he was like renting it from the previous owners. But his girlfriend was like super loud and yelling at their kids, and they had like pit bulls, and there was like definitely this is not a knock on pit bulls, this is more of a knock on how they took care of them. Like, they would just let them go wherever, and they, like, if you weren't careful, they would attack you. And there was like, it was a mess, and they ended up like stealing a bunch of shit in the end.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just disappeared. Yeah. So those are the worst neighbors.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking this, if you don't mind. Rather than ending it on that vibe, let's do this. And here's my idea for the next improv. We'll go loopless.
Okay.
And I'm going to just play chords, and you just play some melodies on top of it, and I'm going to try to listen to where your melodies are going to determine what chord I'm going to play. And then you'll listen to what chords I play to determine where your melody's going to go, and let's see if we can create a little guitar KOTO. In fact, hang on. I am going to switch to a different guitar for this.
All right.
For one thing, because, okay, so I don't know whether you know this. I've explained this on my stream numerous times. I have a shitload of instruments, and the truth is that I didn't buy even half of them.
I mean, that's the best. Like, if you can just pick up an instrument, like, truth be told, I have a bunch of instruments that I didn't pay for. They're not with me. They're in Puerto Rico, so I'll probably bring them back. But yeah, I have a bunch of instruments that, absolutely
Okay,
worth it.
so the universe just is like, look, looks like you could use some extra guitars, and suddenly I have more guitars than I have space for.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's also like, where am I going to put all this stuff,
Put it under the mattress.
But yeah. But the nice thing about Twitch streaming is I would never bring an electric guitar, a guzheng, and an acoustic guitar and an upright bass to a gig.
Right.
Fucking kidding me? But on Twitch, I can actually play them all. So I'm going to play some acoustic guitar and just play some chords,
All right.
and you play some melodies, and let's see where we go. So that you all don't have to leave our stream with this whole
Angry.
fuck the neighbors. Yeah. We would end the stream, and then we'd read in the paper that, like, half a dozen people, like, accosted their neighbors after this. Which could be awesome,
We don't endorse. We don't endorse violence.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not suggesting that you attack your neighbors, but if you do,
At least film it.
yes. Okay, so now we're going to do more of a chords and melody improv without all the looping and technology and everything.
Right.
Let's see how you all like this. That was
Nice.
gorgeous, Ivana.
Thank you. Yeah, at one point I was like, this chord thing ain't gonna work on this thing. This. Thank you for the claps, Ruckus.
Yeah, and what's her name as well?
Yeah, what's her name? Thank you.
Which, by the way, most brilliant screen name ever.
True. What's her name? What's... Sometimes I need to
Oh.
like I actually know several what's her names on Twitch. So it's like which one? What's her name? Which one?
Oh, so a bunch of people have thought that. I guess that's why your what's her name 62, what's her name 1 through 61 were already taken.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Ooh. Psychedelic, thank you for shilling my album.
So, hang on. This was a fantastic experience, Ivana. I hope
Yeah.
that you'll be willing to do this again.
Absolutely. This was so fun. Like I was just vibing.
Yeah. Improv, it's a fun thing to do on one's own, but when you've got another person that you're working off of, several other people, if that's the case, it's just, as I was saying earlier, you end up playing things that, or I find that with me, I end up playing things I never would have thought to play some of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and now I'm like, well, I knew that I was gonna get this going into it, at least with the flute. Like when I realized like, oh yeah, I can play the flute. Like I was like, okay, I can play chord changes over this. I can actually change the key. Whee! It's not really much I can do. That's why like all my really jazzy things that I play on the koto, I have to pick an ambiguous key and just play over it. And the jazz traditionalists can suck my dick.
Well, Mango has talked at length about this, and I have
Ooh.
to agree with a lot of people that, it's music. The idea that you have to like play it a certain way, especially because the people who innovated in those things, like Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker, were not playing jazz correctly at the time.
Exactly.
So the idea of saying, well, the way they played it is now the correct way, it's just ridiculous. Just, how are you hearing it? That's the way I feel.
Exactly. I mean, Dizzy had to sit on his trumpet to
Yeah.
like, yeah, what is going to be tradition, in the future? Like, who even cares, right? Because it's like, yeah, it's good to know tradition or stuff that happened in the past to know what options you have or what you like and what you don't like. Do what you like, do what you like, but um,
Well,
yeah,
and like with studying the Indian music, my feeling is knowing the tradition is important, so I know when I'm stepping out of the tradition.
exactly.
And also, because then, just like I was saying about the improv, sometimes by playing it traditionally, I end up playing things that I would not have thought of on my own. But it's not supposed to be like, a prison that you sit in where you have to follow this tradition.
Right.
I think even the great classical musicians, Indian classical or Western classical, they didn't all say, we have to do this traditionally. That's what made them great.
Right. Yeah, I think, at least in Koto musical history, it's a little bit different because there is kind of like a tradition of traditionalism, particularly in Japan and Japanese traditional culture, from what I understand, right? I don't speak for Japanese people on this, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've read, there has always been kind of like a very severe tug between tradition and and the I guess the new wave of koto playing, and yeah, I think it was at the turn of the 20th century. There was again I forget his name because I suck at names, but it started I think it was called the Meiji period. Again, Don't quote me on that. But this KOTO master came up and he basically just revolutionized the entire thing. And this came when Western culture was, or Western cultures were coming into Japan and, essentially kind of doing their colonization thing. But
Which Western cultures love to do.
yeah, like, oh, it's a Tuesday. What else is new? But this guy was coming from a tradition of, we have to study it this way and whatever. But he was like, you know what? I want to bring in all the new stuff, like all the innovation, and that was kind of his mindset. And for the longest time, he was like considered like the big master. So that was like a very interesting thing about KOTO music history, is that for a long time there's like they were like stuck in the past, kind of like how a lot of people just looked at Bach in the West and were like, this is the end all be all and that's about it. And then when you get to like the 20th century, you find a lot of people who are just like, fuck that, I'll do what I want. It's not to say that he was like discarding tradition or anything. It's more like he was incorporating other things to grow the tradition.
And I think that's the balance, because I think that human beings and okay, so first of all, for those of you who don't know, I'm very down on human beings. I don't like them very much. And one of the problems with human beings is they tend to like to go to extremes. So you'll have the traditionalists who say we have to play it the way it's always been done. But then the people who go against that and act like, I'm not learning any tradition, I'm not learning anything because I want to do it my way. And that, I think, is just as bad, because then, you're not, they're not drawing on anything. They're not, it'd be like saying that you want to be a poet, but you don't want to learn any languages. Well, what are you going to say? So to me, there's a middle way that we have to have. It's good to study the tradition, but not feel tied to it. Also, not necessarily to rebel against it just because it's tradition.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody's free to disagree with me. A lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine. I'm fine with that.
No, I'm definitely on that camp. Like, definitely. I mean, when I started studying at the conservatory back when I was doing my bachelor's degree, I went in composition, and that was after like, last minute deciding composition over a flute major. But I went in because I felt like I wasn't really given a proper structured music theory class, it's not that that I didn't seek one out. It's just like it's not totally readily available in Puerto Rico, and I took classes from someone and I did learn like enough, but I felt like if I sat down in a music theory 101 class, like harmony 101 class, I could have, like, that opened so many doors. Once I sat in music theory 101 and found out what 1-4-5-1 was, I was like, oh shit, so that's what's happening. And from there it's like, okay, I understand it.
And music theory, I think, isn't as hard as classes and theorists and people make it out to be. Like, it's not. It's just numbers, and it's not even like math numbers. Like, you don't do any division or multiplication in music. It's just like, okay, we're gonna call the fifth note the 5, and this is how the 5 works. And I don't know why they make it such a complicated thing.
Yeah, it's like it's failed mathematicians. Mathematicians that didn't get the grade point average to go into mechanics or something.
Kind of like how dentists are people who couldn't get into med school. Oh, Scanark, thanks for giving out that sub. Scanark gave William a gift sub on the channel. And Morgan is right. Music theory is easier than learning Portuguese. Most things are easier than learning Portuguese, though.
Yeah. Well, I took Portuguese in high school, so it wasn't super bad. I think it all just depends on if you had a good teacher or not. I think I was lucky enough to have a good teacher. I know most people don't get good teachers.
Did you grow up bilingual, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico is, I mean, it oscillates between Spanish being the only official language and English and Spanish being the official language. It all depends on who's in the government that quarter,
Ye-
but yeah. But yeah, my on my dad's side, because I'm half white. My dad's American and my mom's Puerto Rican. So yeah, at home, yeah, it's English and Spanish both.
Well, that's been shown that people who grow up speaking more than one language have an easier time picking up multiple languages.
Yeah, I guess
Some
so.
people think that's why not only should other languages be required in school, but they should make them a lot earlier. By the time you're in, 8th grade, it's kind of too late.
Yeah,
Teach kids extra languages when they're in first and second grade, and then it'll be easier to learn more languages.
yeah.
One reason they don't do that over here is because in America we really like being xenophobic.
Yep, I know that. Woo! I mean, like all the viral videos of Puerto Ricans being harassed for talking Spanish with their mom, like that's like our bread and butter, man.
Well, and like the people who were telling some of the Native Americans, yelling at them that they should go back to where they came from, that just shows the level of ignorance that they can get to in this area.
Yeah, oh my god. Go back to your country. No, you.
So, and William was asking about the sub. William, because William is new to Twitch, it means two things. One, that now when you come on my channel, you won't have to sit through any ads. And as Scanark said, that like as Scanark is demonstrating, now you've got access to all those funky emotes.
Yeah, the Dalek one is the best one.
I'm so happy you know what those things are.
My dad's a Whovian, so like the thing is that I grew up when Doctor Who was having its resurgence, and like of course David Tennant was like all the rage, and my dad was like, "Oh yeah, I know Doctor Who," and he showed me, of course, the original one from the '60s with the hair like that, and I was like, "Well, I'm a completionist, so I need to watch Doctor Who from the very beginning." And so I went on and looked for the 63 version.
Yeah, William Hartnell, right.
Yeah, and yeah, followed along. And
My
it was
brother
great.
My brother made me a spindle of discs of Doctor Who from '63 through I think through 80 something when Sylvester McCoy was the
Yeah.
Doctor, the last one before they canceled it that first time. Yeah.
Oh, it's so
So yeah,
cool.
just like you, I was like I had to like see them all, even though the storyline doesn't necessarily connect,
Right.
But
Although I was very glad once I finally got to David Tennant and got like up to date, because I am a horrible binger. Please, everyone in chat, don't do what I do. It's not healthy. It's the worst, especially with Doctor Who. You will never finish. Um, but I was so happy that I saw that first because for David Tennant and the guy who came afterwards, I forget his name.
Matt Smith.
Yes, Matt Smith. There were like a lot of Easter eggs of the 1963 Doctor, and I was like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
it really made me really happy. I was like, oh my god, there he is. It's there.
Yeah. This is probably going to be terrible for our audience if you and me start geeking out on Doctor Who. So maybe let's find somebody to raid. Who do you
True.
think? And I think we don't have to do this, but I think it'd be fun if we both raid the same channel. They get like a double raid.
Hell yeah. Crack Mother's on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So shall that be our raid choice then? I don't think I've ever gotten to raid Crack Mother. So
Yeah, let's raid Crack Mother. All right, let me set this
okay.
up.
Any of you folk that don't know who Crack Mother is, you're going to find out. And everybody be polite, say hello. I'd say follow Crack Mother.
Yeah. Psychedelic, if you could be so kind and bring up the raid calls for all you plebs. You get the regular raid call. For all you lovely subscribers, you get the pretty one.
And for me, I just put up the Dalek with the raid thing, and you're welcome to do the same or not. I don't really mind.
All right.
I want to thank, first of all, everybody in the audience who's been here and listening, and for your generosity with subscriptions and bits and just your attention, because music in general, I find it's like fun to do, but when there's people listening, it changes the energy. It just makes it so much better.
Yeah, that's why I'm on Twitch in the first place. It started out like
We both.
I'm gonna practice project. But,
And then I want to give an extra special thank you to Scanarc for being a mod for this channel. Scanarc's also a mod for Hibana's channel,
yeah.
which I guess she had to decide which of us she loved better, and I thought it was me for a moment.
No, she's on both of our streams, so fuck you.
And then so extra special thanks for Scanarc to try to double mod. And then a big thank you to Hibana for agreeing to do this this wonderful experiment.
Absolutely, and let's do it again.
Let's do that then, yeah. And then the last thing I'll say is that the tally did come in, and Hibana did win, but she didn't beat the spread.
Oh. Oh well.
Okay, so so we're ready to raid over here. How about you?
Yeah, we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey. All right, my people were jettisoned off.
Oh, what the hell just happened? Oh, what? Hibana! Wait, what? There's 2 raids. Y'all